What's up, y'all? Welcome to the On the Come Up podcast, where creative entrepreneurs share their come up journeys that turn their passions into success. I'm your host, Kimberly, so let's get started. Hello. Welcome back, guys. Sorry for the wait. We were on summer break. During that time, we also decided to do some rebranding. We have a new name, On the Come Up podcast, with Kimberly Sanchez, myself. We hope you guys enjoy the new name. Same podcast, just a different name. All right, let's get to it. What is up, guys? We are back with Christine.
Hello.
Christine is an owner of Bella Modeling School McKinney. She also owns her own nonprofit organization called Shine Through Foundation, and she's a beautiful model.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Don't you guys love her red glasses? Like,
these are my favorite glasses. I have a couple different pairs, but these are
I kind of want some.
They're Kate Spade.
Yeah, those are cute. All right, well, let's get into it, shall we? What inspired you to open a Bella Modeling School location in McKinney? Because there's one in Dallas, correct?
Yes. So now there's one in Dallas and Atlanta as well, 3 locations. But originally there was just the first one in Dallas. And I actually went through the program a number of years ago myself. And when I went through the program, I was really looking for a change in my confidence, to feel better about myself, to try pursuing something that I never felt good enough to pursue earlier in my life. So as a young adult, I went through the program and I saw the transformation it was having on other people. Not only did it help me kickstart my professional modeling career, and I got signed after and I started doing modeling on a professional level, which was great. It also just had this transformation effect on these other younger students in the program. And I really wanted to be a part of that. I previously was working in a corporate office, and I wanted to make more of an impact on the world. I had already been searching for how could I impact people more. And I thought, wow, this program is doing that not just for me, but for these other people. And that's the kind of impact I want to have. And so I had some conversations with Estella, who's the founder, CEO of the brand Bella Modeling School. And one thing led to another, and there was an opportunity to open a location. And so I thought McKinney, I was originally, looking somewhere in the northern DFW area, Frisco, McKinney, that kind of space. And McKinney's just the one that kind of worked out best logistically. And the brand was getting popular and it was ready to expand its reach. And so it was all, I believe in God's perfect timing, that it all came together at the right moment, and that I was, that was something that I was supposed to do. As my purpose was to open the school and help reach even more people and have that, change on their lives.
I love that. So how long ago did you attend Bella Dallas?
I have to think about that. So hold on. So that would have been about 9 years ago, I think, if I remember correctly. And then McKinney has been opened for 6 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So it was shortly after finishing the program and getting into modeling professionally. I had dabbled in modeling for fun even before that, but I did it for a little over a year professionally before I opened this school. But I have a lot of business experience, and so definitely was able to utilize that and build a great team to be able to, instruct at the school.
What was the process like? Was it like right away you knew it was like, okay, I want to open a location, or did you think about it?
No. So at first I was like, okay, I just want to talk to Estella more about what she does. And her and I just started having more conversations. And I was like, I love business. I love processes. I'm a huge nerd for like process optimization and project management. And I felt like maybe I could give Estella some ideas on the school. Maybe I could make a few improvements here or there or something, make it a little more efficient here or there. So I started having some conversations with her just in general, but like how kind of the back end looks or what she's doing. And I just kept saying that I, wanted to be involved somehow. I knew I wanted to be a part of it. And then it kind of connected. You know, she's very open to talking to me about it. And then a light bulb kind of went off one day that she had always thought about, you've had a vision of it expanding one day. She always knew that this was going to grow and expand. And she realized, hey, I think this is it naturally happening. And this is the person that's going to help and, you know, make that next location. And so she brought that idea up. And I said, wow, yeah, I loved it right away. I loved it. I actually never dreamed of being an entrepreneur. I never dreamed of owning any business. Something happened when I was younger, and I just believed, oh, I want to work corporate life forever, and I want to wear like pantsuits and be business Barbie. I don't know, something when I was younger, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, to work in the office and to become a vice president of something one day. I never even thought like, oh, I want to be president of something or I want to own something. No, for some reason I capped out at vice president of something would be so cool. And then I became an adult and started experiencing life. And I don't know. It's just like, wow, yeah, I should open this. And I really do believe that there is like God's intervention,
right?
Divine intervention, I should say, because it all just felt right. And I actually had to leave corporate America for this decision. You know, I left security and a normal paycheck and health insurance and all this safety and comfort zone to jump into this journey that I never even expected for myself previous to this. And it all just felt right. And I was at peace with it. And I knew that it was the right thing to do. And then all of it also just fell into place really nicely. I mean, Estella helped me tremendously, but everything just started falling into place for finding the building, finding the spot. Like, how do I do this and that and open this? And everything just fell into place. So I knew I was on the right path.
What were some of the biggest challenges you faced, like in the beginning?
I would say a really big challenge, I think it was the transition from what I was saying with corporate life into owning a business. You leave comfort and safety and you're going into the unknown, completely unknown. You are never going to know everything either. You're not going to have the answers for everything or everything figured out. So you have to take a leap of faith and jump in without knowing how it's going to work out and just trusting that it will work out. I think I was challenged with having to become more flexible with, hey, this is the exact way I want things to go. And you have to be able to pivot or be flexible that it might not happen that way. And a really big challenge is that business is not 100% consistent, right? There's going to be months, there's going to be ups and downs and cycles and trends that form over time. And it's not like every day is the same. It's not like every week or the month is the same. Not even every year is the same. And so getting really adjusted to there's no certainty. That was a challenge. And that was probably one of the most stressful pieces when opening.
Was it something like you thought about every day, or you didn't let it like cover your thoughts? Like
when I was opening the business? And
yeah, it's like the uncertainty. Did it like clog your mind? Because I feel like I'm the type of person to like think about, is this going to work out or is this not going to work out?
Oh, the uncertainty specifically. It depended. It would come and go. I still have moments of doubt. We all do, right? Sometimes I get, I think a lot of us get imposter syndrome, or just, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? Is this going to work out? It definitely comes and goes. In the beginning, it was a lot heavier to deal with because I really wasn't used to that in the previous work I had done and other things in my life that I had done. I wasn't used to how much uncertainty there was. But again, I felt like I knew I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. Everything there were things that would fall into place that I just knew this is supposed to be happening. And that kept me strong. And that kept me knowing I was on the right path. And I do believe, as long as I try and as long as I'm putting my best effort in and utilizing my resources, things will work out. I feel like I've been really, really fortunate in this life to live in a way that, I don't think that I'm ever going to end up on the street. I don't think I'm ever going to not have food to eat. So going into it, you have to go into business with, like, you can't be afraid to fail. And knowing that, okay, if I did fail, I'm not going to die. At least the work I do. I'm not, I'm not going to die. My life's not going to be completely over. Would it suck? Yeah. Would it be extremely difficult? Yes. Could it put me in a really difficult financial position potentially or something? Yes. Like that could be difficult and my ego would be crushed. But at the end of the day, it's going to be okay. And I think embracing that helps that worry go away and allows you to then focus on, great, but I'm not going to fail because I'm focused and we're going to make this work.
I love that. I also think like going into it with a positive mindset will also train your mind. I've been listening to like a lot more podcasts that has to deal with like your mind and training your mind because your brain thinks one way, but you think another way, but you got to train your mind to think how you feel.
Yes.
Because your mind doesn't know any better, right?
Yes.
So it's all about like thinking like positive.
100%. Yes. I think so. That's a big part of it too. Like embracing it, but also, being able to tell yourself, no, things are going to work out and it's gonna be good. You have to be careful too about who is feeding your thoughts. This is not just ourselves, right? Other people around people around us, our family. Oh my gosh. I come from a family that, I think a lot of us experience this generationally, where our parents are used to, you go work for a company and you go work there for 30, 40 years, whatever it is, and then you retire with a pension, right? Like old school mentality and thinking, and you're supposed to stay there. And when I told my parents that I was going to quit what I was doing in corporate America and focus on modeling and focus on opening up this school, they thought I was crazy. They thought, why would you ever leave that? Why would you leave your paycheck? Why would you leave your security? Why would you go do that? And now we're in a world where people know, you can get fired from your job tomorrow. Like it's not as secure as we think. But yeah, they thought that was crazy, and they would kind of in the beginning be in disbelief of like, well, how is this going to work out? And very cynical about it. And they're very supportive. Like, at the same time, they're cynical and at the same time saying like, go after your dreams and good for you. But kind of have to push against what other people are saying and, train your mind like you were saying.
Right. Especially with like, my parents aren't that old, but the older the parents, I feel like, the generation back then is like, oh, you're supposed to be a lawyer, you're supposed to be a doctor, like, that's what they expect out of you or us, our generation, like now. You know?
Like here's your 5 career choices.
Right.
And I think that's where
pick one.
I think that's as a kid why I was like, I choose VP of business. Like that's the one I'm going with.
Yeah. And eventually as you grow older, you find what you like.
Yeah.
What has been your most rewarding investment in the business as a whole?
I would say the most rewarding investment. So just a little bit of background if people don't know listening to this. Bella Modeling School, yes, it's a modeling school. We set people up to enter the industry in modeling, get them signed to agents, some commercial acting, But we have a huge focus on developing confidence, and we work on other life skills that are transferable into other areas of people's lives. So the people that come through our doors, some of them, yes, they're trying to enter the modeling and or acting industry, and that's great. And we're here to help them with that and set them up for success. But we also get people that are there just strictly for that confidence building, that working on themselves, that brand image, a creative outlet, right? So to me, the most rewarding piece is when I invest my time and energy with the students. I don't do all the teaching. I have a great team of teachers. But the time I spend getting to know the students from when they enroll in the program, watching their progress, checking up. We do, really checking in on how each individual student's doing, where they are against their goals, and then seeing the progress at the end of the program and the big difference in them because I invested enough to know them personally and actually see the growth that they had and sometimes be a part of it. You know, sometimes once in a while I teach, or I'm definitely there when we have like photo shoot days and portfolio building days, and I can actually really see the change happening. That's the most rewarding because I do this business to improve lives and see these transformations happen. And so in order to see that, I have to invest my own time with the students. Yes, there's a ton of time I invest on the back end with running the business, but making, and yeah, I could just also have the teachers do it all. I don't, you know, technically the operation can run without me being involved with the students technically, but that's where I get the most reward out of it, is making sure I get really involved with the students and like take personal ownership of their transformation.
I love that. If y'all didn't know, I went to Bella Modeling School in McKinney.
Yes, Kimberly is a proud prodigy of our school.
I went like, it was 2020, mid-COVID.
Yeah.
So like 4 years ago now. That's crazy.
You were the first class that we were able to open our doors for after COVID, after the shutdown. So you were the first group allowed in the doors from COVID.
Yeah. I remember, it's 4 years.
Yeah.
What does success mean to you?
Success to me, I would say for anything, my business or anything going on, I think it means that obviously, you know, you're hitting some kind of goals you've set for yourself, but I would say I'm successful when I am helping others in some way, impacting others. I am making money to live a decent life, right? That's a fact. Everyone that needs money to survive. So I think there's definitely a financial component to it. Like, okay, making enough money to have a comfortable life for me and, you know, future family, and feeling fulfilled, but also growing. I don't think success is just staying super comfortable all the time. I think that's not as fulfilling. I think I feel like this is a really indirect answer.
I know. I get what you're saying. It's like you got to be familiar. Like you got to be familiar with the uncomfortable.
Yeah, success is that I'm okay with not knowing what's coming next. Success is being able to go with it, knowing I gave my best effort, go with the flow, able to tackle anything that's coming my way, while making money to live, you know, like I said, like, you know, decent life and having a good, and being able to take care of a family, and feeling fulfilled and purposeful and impacting others. I think that ultimately leads to just a really well-lived life. And I think it's probably more important than just saying, oh, I made $1 million or something. You know, someone might have that as like their success goal. And there's nothing wrong with having those goals. But I think it has to be more well-rounded than that to feel successful.
Do you see any like more Bella locations in the near future?
So I am involved in our expansion effort from the brand. So like I mentioned, we do have a third location in Atlanta, Georgia. So that's been really exciting. I am involved in that to some capacity to help make sure that's going well. There is Estella, as the CEO of the brand, does have a vision for it to continue expanding when the time is right. So when it's the right market, when it's the right timing and the right people to be involved. We are owner-operated businesses, so we make sure that the locations are being run by people that are really invested in it. That's one thing that no one will ever care about your business as much as you. And so we want to make sure that there's the heart to every Bella is there, and the owner is a big piece of it.
I know. I remember one time you telling me, you're like, I don't like being away from the school. Like,
I don't like I was saying earlier, could it technically operate? Yes. Right. Yes. Can I do everything myself? No, you have to delegate and you have to have a team and things in place. But yeah, I don't like to be away from it. Definitely not for long.
It's kind of like a pet or a child.
Yeah.
It's like you want to care for it as much as you can.
Yeah, it's kind of my
for
baby.
as long as you can.
Yes. Like, no, it needs me.
What advice would you give to someone looking to start their own business?
I would say, I definitely have a couple pieces of advice. I would say, one, you will not ever know everything. So you just got to go. You got to take the jump. You got to make the leap and figure it out as you go. Figure it out. Ask other people. Like, you're not going to have all the answers. Two, I would say there's always something that you can start. Like, you might think, oh, well, I can't support myself financially if I quit my job and try to open something. I don't have the means to do it. Then don't do that. Keep your job and do what you can do, when you're not working in your free time. Can you get a prototype going? Can you get something started? Can you cookie business? Can you make some cookies and see if a few people will buy them? You got to test things out. There's ways to start slow if you need to. You don't have to have everything in place to get and think you have to open a huge store right away. Also ask, network, meet people, ask them what they did. You got to be careful because you don't want to take advice from everyone and you don't want too many people in your ear, but it's really helpful to talk to people that have done it and to get mentorship and get advice and decide which parts you think are best to apply to yourself. And be ready for it to be uncomfortable and crazy. And I like to joke that I left my 9-to-5 to work 24/7. I'm sure you've seen that on Instagram memes and things. It's 1,000% true. If you're starting a business, you need to be prepared you have to know how to do every role in case it's needed. You have to be able to do everything yourself if necessary. I mean, you can't all the time, but if necessary, you have to be able to step in. You have to think about it. You think about it all the time. There's no time off mentally. There's no actual break.
Even if working a 9-to-5, and you don't want to work the 9-to-5, AKA me, right?
Yeah.
I still think about it all the time. Just dang, I could be out here doing other things with, what I'm doing now and on my, the side, what I do on the side, but I'm just sitting behind my 9-to-5. It's no matter what, you still think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether you're doing your 9-to-5 or you're doing your actual business.
Yeah. And it's hard because it's really healthy to you got to force a little bit of work-life balance, right? You definitely need times where you're taking care of yourself. But it's funny, if you're doing what you love, if you're going to open a business, if anyone's starting a business, they should be doing something that they really care about and are passionate about and love, because they're going to be, you have to put a lot into it. So you got to love it. And then it becomes, people will ask me so what do you do for fun? You ever get that, what do you do outside of work? What do you do for fun? I'm my business. And they're well, what about outside the business? There's nothing outside the business. That's it.
Pilates,
right? Okay, yeah, I'll go to the gym sometimes. Of course, I do have my modeling that I'm doing. But then people say, well, that's also work, right? I do have the Shine Through Foundation, which I want to mention in it too. But they're like, okay, well, that's another business. What do you do outside of work? And I'm
but that is fun.
That is my life. Yeah, right. That is. I don't know, clean my house. So what do you, there's nothing else.
Go on a walk. That is,
yeah. So it sounds boring, but that's what happens when you start a business. It becomes kind of everything, at least for a little while.
But you do what you love. You're having fun while you're doing it.
Yeah, because you love it. And so even the parts that, there's parts that suck. There's parts that oh, I don't know. I'm a numbers nerd, so I like this. But some people might be well, I hate working on my accounting, or my expenses. And some people, especially creatives, they tend to not love numbers as much as I love numbers. They might not want to do that part, but it's still worth it because it's going towards a thing that you love overall.
Right. So you mentioned this, your nonprofit organization.
Yes.
Shine Through. So how does that intertwine with Bella?
So Shine Through Foundation, it is to provide scholarships for creative arts programs in DFW for those with financial need. So this came up because having Bella Modeling School, we sometimes see people, I talk about how like my favorite part is seeing the transformation, in these kids, seeing this confidence develop in these young adults. And sometimes people come to the school and they want to do the program and they just aren't able to afford it. It's just not within their means. And I think, oh my gosh, but they were, perfect candidate.
Excited, right?
Yeah. Or they have so much potential in the industry, or, oh, I can see that they're really shy and this would really turn that around for them. And I just wish I could pay for them all. Right. I wish that like, oh yeah, just go for free or I'll pay for you, but obviously that's not sustainable. You can't do that in business. So that's where it stemmed from. And I said, I really want to make an organization that would help, that would be able to raise funds to help, because this is not just something happening in Bella Modeling School. That's where I saw it happening firsthand. But I know that this is happening for dance programs. I know this is happening for other creative arts programs, right? Theater programs, music. And Texas has a great number of resources for sports. And sports are great. Yeah. And sports build confidence. But not everyone's an athlete, right? Some of us are creative. And we don't necessarily give as much attention to that. Whether it's in the school system or, whatever, the arts don't always get as lifted up or as much attention for accessibility and for people to explore them. So that's where Shine Through Foundation came from and what it supports. And I think it's very important. A lot of people in the creative space, we have a lot of things we're trying to go after. We have different avenues. And I think it's really helpful if you tie things together that makes sense for like an overall mission. So if my overall mission personally, is to help people with building their confidence and feel good about themselves and be transformed through creative arts, then I do that firsthand at Bella Modeling School. Shine Through Foundation does that by providing those opportunities to people that don't have those opportunities. And my own personal modeling also provides to make sure, like with my own experience, not only to be like a role model, but also to make sure I'm up to date with everything going on in the industry to feed Bella Modeling. So everything is feeding each other and helping with the one overall mission that I'm working towards. And I think that's really helpful instead of spreading myself too thin and trying to go down a bunch of different avenues that maybe are not connected.
I love that so much because I really wish I had that opportunity, because I went to the school like mid-COVID. Yeah. So I didn't, like, that whole year for like 2020, I believe, I didn't have a job for like 5 months. I remember like during Bella, I did not have a job.
Yeah.
And so glad Bella also does payment plans, guys.
Yeah.
But yes. If it wasn't for that, I'm just like, I would have been like,
Yeah. And look at what everything has kicked off for you and all, and, the things that you've been doing and how amazing that's been. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. So yeah. I love that you're doing that, and I think that's so awesome.
Thank you. Thanks.
Shine Through Foundation, guys.
Shinethrough.org.
There you go. That's the website. Well, Christine, thank you so much for coming on and being my first episode back from the rebrand. See, I was getting so excited and didn't say it right. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you, Christine, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks.